1024, where your entertainment will be transformed. It's a universal war that never stops. Who will win? Decepticons or Autobots? It's a universal war that never stops. Who will win? Decepticons or Autobots? The battle rages on. It's war for Cybertron.
Ba weep grog now weep ninny bong, my fellow addicts. This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, coming to you with yet another TFA review. And yeah, I've seemed to have joined the early bandwagon of the War for Cybertron Siege hype. So today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Deluxe Class Weaponizer COG. But before we take a quick look at the figure itself, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the packaging in a very different fashion that I haven't been doing. Because this is a brand new packaging, I'll go over it as the whole thing. But right here at the very bottom we have a very nice graffitied Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy logo. Looking very cool, very war-torn. On the side right here you have his name. It is COG. He is an Autobot. He is, I don't know how well you can see that, but he is WFC number 8. And you also have this beautiful looking, very unique Autobot insignia. I guess like Iacon's insignia, and then maybe the Decepticons is Kaon. But I don't know. I really like that symbol. That looks really cool. I can't get over that. You have Transformers logo picked out as well in like some war-torn graffiti looking paint as well. You also have like some sparks here that carry over throughout the whole packaging. You have a graffitied on Transformers Generations logo as well as Takara Tomy, so hey, nice to know the partnership's still going on strong. On the side of the box you have this beautiful piece of artwork with Optimus Prime looking over Chromia, Sideswipe, Red Alert carrying an injured Hound, as well as the Autobots and Decepticons waging war on Cybertron as the Ark takes off to leave for its exodus. Again, you have the War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege logo right there, as well as the Transformers Authentic logo. On the other side, you have a beautiful piece of artwork of COG in his separate forms, Gasket and Grommet. And on the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shots with COG, demonstrating the Weaponizer capability with Sideswipe, as well as his vehicle mode, conversion steps, and more. And here we have WFC Deluxe Class Weaponizer COG in his combined vehicle mode. Now, as I mentioned previously, and I did not give proper credit to this because, honestly, I had no idea about this, I want to thank Optibotimus for his video review, because if it wasn't for him, I would not know that those two little dudes on the side of the box actually had names. Now that I know that, I'm very appreciative of that little tidbit. So thank you very much. You taught the Transformers Addict something. And also, without him, his review, period, I would not have been sold on COG, just because I have Fortress Maximus, and I know he was missing a component, much like if we get Scorponok, they could just easily repaint him into Fast Track. So it's very cool to actually have this character and this component for Fortress Maximus. So, you know, he kind of sold me on it, so go check out Optibotimus' review. But wait until after this one, you know, maybe you could do a comparison. But anyway, here we have COG in his combined vehicle mode, and it is a very cool Cybertronian-looking half-track/tank, and it looks very cool. I like it. Got the very nice dark blue plastic manufactured throughout the what will be the arms and the lower body. You have this nice vibrant red paint picked out for some of the thrusters, as well as these two guns up here. You have this beautiful metallic silver for the front of what will be Gasket in his vehicle mode. And you can pretty much see how everything's going to work out. I mean, it just kind of looks like he's laying down with his arms, like, hunched over his back, kind of. But it's not anything too bad. I really do like this vehicle mode, and I even like them better when they separate. But if you flip them over, you'll kind of see, again, how everything's going to work out. You know, you see Visible Robot Syndrome. Saw the arms, there's the head, these are going to be the legs. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just happy to finally have COG, and they're announcing 6-gun, which I cannot wait to get for Metroplex. So, and he does have weapon storage. His two little photon pistols can go right here in these two ports. I did try to put them up here, where there are other two ports right here and here. You can't even put them up here on what are going to be the forearms for the robot mode, and you can even put them right here, but I'm not sure if that will compromise rolling or not. And hey, speaking of rolling, he does have functioning wheels. So hooray for driving vehicles. And yeah, I mean, he's kind of just a long-wheeled and tank-treaded brick. But he's a fun, long, tank-treaded, wheeled brick. So, now to separate them, it is a very, very easy process. You watching this? I want to make sure you're watching this, okay? Ready? Ta-da! So now we have Gasket and Grommet in their respective vehicle modes. And this is where I'm not really crazy about it, but I do appreciate that Hasbro went this far for this character, for this figure, and really trying to get it G1 accurate. Because that's basically what they've been doing for modern generations. And it's just a simple peg connection. Now, unfortunately, it's not a very strong one, because like I could pick this up and shake it a little bit, and it comes off at the ease. It would have been nice if there was like a small clip or something to actually go into that slot a lot more securely. But the fact that it falls apart that easily, I do understand why, because he is a weaponizer, and unfortunately in this video review I can't demonstrate that, but I guarantee you, when I get some more figures coming in, which I do have more coming in, I will definitely demonstrate the playability with the weaponizers. But yeah, so the connection is very, very loose, but it's understandable for what it is. So here we have Grommet and Gasket in their vehicle modes, and Grommet here is like a little half-track, like a APC. He has tank treads and he's got wheels, so he's got 2 guns. And then Gasket here, I guess, is kind of like a roller without the additional, like, 2 wheels on each, you know, the additional 2 wheels. He's like Fortress Maximus's roller. And they're both cool. I like it. I kind of like that he has like a giant battleized Doom Buggy mode, and then he's a half-track, so very militarized, very cool. I really do enjoy them. Now for some brief size comparisons, here he is, or here they are, with the Transformers Power of the Prime Scout class, or Legends class, whatever class you want to call it. Beachcomber. And you can see how well they scale together, and they're roughly Legend size. And that's not bad. I appreciate that. That's cool. Very nice. Here he is with Fortress Maximus's little tank drone double cannon thing. And yeah, the blue plastic isn't exactly on par in terms of matching it, but it's close enough, and honestly, it works for what it is. So there's that. For a deluxe size comparison, here he is with Triptychon's Buddy Full Tilt. And unfortunately, I don't have any Voyagers or Leaders at the moment, but I do have Cyber Battalion Shockwave right here, so you can get a sense of scale with that. So there you go. There is that. Now, this is normally where I would go into a stop-motion transformation, but because this is still a relatively new figure, I'm going to transform it manually. Oh my gosh, I know, manual transformation in a TFA review? Get out of here! Not only that, but I have yet to experiment with him in terms of transformation, because he is mainly a parts former, and to those of you who are new to the Transformers franchise or fandom, you don't know what that means. It means he splits into individual components to form another mode. So let's go and do that right now, shall we? So we're going to go ahead and take Grommet's little photon pistols and just unpeg them, put them off to the side. Going to go ahead and just rotate his legs, and they are on rotational joints as well as hinges right here, so you're just going to rotate the legs all the way around, or rotate the crotch piece rather. Rotate it like that, and now you see his upper body is already done. Go ahead and take Gasket, just go ahead and rip off his arms. They're just on pegs. They're very, very easy to take off. You gotta go ahead and set them off to the side. Rotate the head, or what will be the head here. Rotate it again at this rotational hinge at the neck. Go and take his arms and just peg them in into these ports right here. And then you can see there's a port right there. There's a peg right in there. You're just going to want to combine the two together. And there you have Cog in his robot mode. And I am very happy with how well he turned out. I am ecstatic to actually have this character for Fortress Maximus, just as well as a modernized Generation 1 cog. A lot of people wouldn't be excited about this, but when you own the Titan and you're missing one of his pieces or a couple of his pieces, it's a nice, refreshing breath of air to just kind of have a character or component of that figure, for that figure rather. Oh, his not plugged in all the way. There you go. So there you go. There's Cog in his robot mode. And I like it. I like the transition from the, more main silver, because this whole piece kind of rotates and his head rotates around. A lot of more blue is being revealed in the robot mode. He's got a beautiful Tampergraph Autobot insignia right there on his right shoulder. Pauldron? I don't know what to call him. Column. That's what I'm trying to say. His right shoulder column. Got some more of that silver right here on the actual shoulders picked out very nicely. One thing I'm not really keen on the War for Cybertron line is the whole war-torn paint. Like, it makes sense for Cog, but I'm not crazy about it. It's very minor, though, so you have, like, small little spackles of silver right here. You have some on the hinge, which I think is kind of clever. I think you actually have some on the inside of the legs, so right there. Nothing on the outside of the legs, to my knowledge. But, yeah, I'm just not really crazy about it. I get it. I guess that's, like, going to be the quote-unquote gimmick for the War for Cybertron Siege, the WFC Siege trilogy, but I'm just not on board with it. I mean, hey, it is what it is, so I'm not going to complain about it. Now, he can hold his weapons. They are on a 5mm peg-to-port connection. He does hold them very well, but on my copy, and I think this is just because it's an early render, this hand right here, or this gun specifically, does not have a tighter grip of friction than the other hand, or it's that hand, I guess. I don't know why that is, but it just does not want to work, so I find it best if you just kind of switch out the hands, or you switch out the guns to the hands, and he holds them a lot better. So, your mileage may vary, just be careful about that. But taking out the guns yet again to demonstrate his articulation, his head is on a 360-degree rotational mushroom peg joint. It can rotate all around. It can kind of look up because of the transformation joint, so he can look up a little bit. Can't really look down. That's okay. Shoulders are on a rotation. They can rotate 360 degrees. They cannot really bend in or outward, but if you want to kind of pretend, I guess, he does have a slight hinge, or he does have a hinge right here, but because all this other back panel stuff gets in the way, unfortunately, that hinders that articulation. He does have in and out movement, if you move this to accommodate that. Does have in and out movement. He does have a very nice elbow joint, slightly over 90 degrees. Very nice. No wrist articulation. He does have waist articulation, though, which is very nice, so his waist can rotate 360 degrees. No ab crunch. His hips are on rotational joints. He can kick. He can bend his legs all the way back, as well as accommodate with a very nice over 90 degree knee bend. They are on a swivel because they are meant to come off, so can swivel his legs. And he actually does have ankle pivots, which is very nice. So you can actually get him in some pretty dynamic poses. And I think that's pretty cool. So there you go. Now for a brief size comparison, here he is with the Transformers Power of the Primes Scout Class, Legends Class Beachcomber. And as you can see, very relatively different in size. Almost actually looks like a Beachcomber became Cog. Something to think about. That does look really cool, though. They both have silver. They both have wheels on their shoulder. See where I'm going with it? Never mind. So there's that. Here he is with Triptychon's buddy, Deluxe Class Titan's Return Full Tilt. Deluxe / Voyager, I guess? I don't know. He's slightly bigger, so I'm going to say Deluxe Plus, I guess. You can see how they scale together. I appreciate that Full Tilt's a little bit bigger compared to Cog, because he is a Decepticon. Decepticons are generally bigger than Autobots, at least movie standpoint and Transformers Prime and such. And here he is with the Cyber Battalion / Voyager class Shockwave. So there you go. There is that. Now, while I do normally end the video review around this point in time, I'm going to do something that I believe no one who has reviewed this figure has done yet. Before I continue, I'm just going to warn you guys right now, what you're going to see is not really a proper Titan setup. Because what we're going to do is we're going to show the playability and interactivity with COG for Titan's Return, Fortress Maximus. Now, first off, I have to thank Cybertron.com or Cybertron.com for making a gallery of COG here, because without them messing around with him and figuring out, how to actually interact him with Fortress Maximus, this part of the review would not be possible. But to get COG into Weaponizer mode, well, it is Weaponizer mode, rotate the head 360 degrees, and then utilize this hinge joint right here, which is the center portion of his chest, and rotate this down. But actually, don't do that just yet, because you do have to split him at the seams right here. And on my copy, it's a little tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take off the legs. And there, you take them off. Take off the arms. And apologies for my dirty wall and such for this video. This is the first time I've actually been doing something for a Titan character. There you go. So you have that peg, you have that port that we use to connect them in robot mode, separate them, and then you're left with all these pieces. And for the legs, all you have to do is just fold these up, like so. Fold that up. Now you got two little things that you could use for Sideswipe or Optimus Prime, whatever your preference is, and just set them down right there. And you can take his photon guns, or whatever type of guns they are, I don't know, I'm just making them. You can hook them up on his arms, you can hook them up on this little vehicle, you can have him form gasket again, if you really want to. But what I like to do is, I like to fold them in half like this, so it forms like a shield, and then take this peg it in wherever you want. And there are all kinds of various peg to port connections all over Fortress Maximus. But specifically, we're going to focus on, and I'm not sure how well I'll be able to get this on camera, so bear with me, my fellow addicts, but we're going to go ahead and focus on the ones that are going to be right here on the shoulders of what would be the robot mode. So let me lower that down just a little bit, and I'll see if I can pull him up just a little closer, because he is a big boy. And now you can see exactly what I'm going to be doing. So you have three ports right here. Some are screw holes, some are not. And you can just go and take whatever weapons you want to and peg them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these weapons, take them off of COG's arms, and just go ahead and put them right here. So you got one weapon. Take this one, and I'm going to put it right here. Right next to it. Actually, be the other way around, because that's supposed to be the gun. So there you go. Take this one and do the same thing on the other side. This is kind of my conversion for him, my setup. And take this one. Pick it right there. Now what I'm going to do for the legs is going to be something a little different, and this is not really Fortress Maximus's official mode, but we're going to rotate the leg. A nice 3 clicks. Rotate it at least 4 clicks. And then we're going to take this foot section and just kind of angle it to where you're going to be making it as the foot. And go ahead and take one of these, I guess, if you really want to, and utilize this peg right here after you fold that down. And just, there you go. Stick that right there. Do the same thing on the other side. And then, for these little weapons, believe there's a peg right here you can utilize. And you can put that wherever you can find a port, really. So let's go ahead and stick this one right here on this other on this other section, if I can get it. Give me a second. Stick that there. And then flip up this peg right here. And stick it on right there. And there you have Fortress Maximus with Cog in his Weaponizer mode. Now, this is merely aimed for the War for Cybertron Siege figures, but you can utilize these with other figures that have 5mm peg-to-port connections. And it is very stable, very secure. I did have to fiddle a little bit with the feet and leg sections for Cog, as well as this section up here, which is going to form his lower back, as well as his hips. But everything else does stay on there very securely, and this is just my conversion for a weapon mode for Fortress Maximus. And I think it works for what it is. There are other variations that you can do, because there is no rule that says you have to abide by what the instructions say for Weaponizer form. It's up to you. The imagination and the possibilities are endless, so do what you want with it. But there we have Fortress Maximus with his little buddy Cog, and that looks pretty cool. So there is that. So my overall thoughts on War for Cybertron Siege Cog is honestly, he's pretty good. Granted, he's just kind of a parts former, much like the original Generation 1 toy is. I will definitely say there is a major fun factor to be had with him. To be able to customize any War for Cybertron Siege character, or any character with 5mm peg-to-port connections on their bodies or their weapons or hands or whatever, is honestly a lot of fun. And the fact that we're finally getting this character for the Titans Return Fortress Maximus is all the better, as well as to even accompany him in forms of extra weaponry is all the more better. I will definitely say he is kind of somewhat bland in some areas. Like, I really wish there would have been a little bit more paint in some of the robot mode or the vehicle mode. Because, yeah, while it's a nice blend of metallic silver with vibrant red and blue plastic, it could have popped just a little bit more, but I'm not a paint nut or anything, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. The posability on this guy is really good. You can get him in some pretty dynamic poses, and he looks good doing them. The transformation, while being mainly parts forming, is very true to the original iteration of Cog from 1987. So I'm not going to complain too much about that either. What I will say, though, is whenever you're trying to transform him, the chest connection is a little tight and the legs are just a little loose, but because he is also a weaponizer, it is understandable to why the connection is the way it is. The vehicle modes are honestly really cool as well. I really like that he transforms into a half-track as well as like a little roller knockoff, because he looks like Roller, because of silver, he just doesn't have the additional wheels. You guys see where I'm going with this? The size is actually pretty good, but I wouldn't say it warrants a $20 price point, because unfortunately, much like every year recently, the Transformers prices have gone up yet again, and instead of paying, you know, $15 to $16 on a standard deluxe, you're now paying $20. And I paid a little extra for mine, so just to get this guy out there, get him early, and also to just get him for Fortress Maximus, because I told myself I'm going to get him first. I'm going to get a Decepticon, then I'm going to get the Micromasters, the Target Masters, and the Voyagers and Leaders. So I'm happy to finally start the War for Cybertron Siege hype train, and happy to actually have Cog to go with Fortress Maximus. The 6-gun is going to look amazing. I've seen a picture of it so far. I've seen actual images of it online, and the fact that it's probably going to be a very heavy, extensive remold of this guy, I eagerly await 6-gun, because he's going to look really good with Metroplex. So, but do I recommend Cog? If you don't have him or the original 1987 Generation 1 Fortress Maximus, I'd say yes, pick him up at least for the sake for your collection. If you're not interested in it, you don't even have Titans Return Fortress Maximus, but you want to experience the playability within the War for Cybertron Siege line, by all means, go ahead and feel free to pick him up. If you don't have any interest in him at all, save some money, and maybe go for Skytread or Optimus or Megatron or something. But personally, I would say get him if you really want to. Because while he's not necessarily a necessity to your collection, he is a very beautiful, fun addition to it, as well as a very nice starter for your War for Cybertron Siege collection, as well as your Generations Autobots. So pick him up if you want to, because I recommend, so you can decide. But that's pretty much all there is to say, my fellow addicts. Actually, there is one more thing. I know at the end of my video review for the Revenge of the Fallen Studio Series number 21 Starscream that Cyberverse Bumblebee was going to be next. I figured to get this guy out early because, let's be real, who really wants another review of a Bumblebee toy? So there may not be a end teaser for this video review, but I can definitely say there is going to be more War for Cybertron Siege Trilogy stuff coming on the way this week, and I will get to reviews on them as soon as I can. But from now on, I'm only going to be doing a bi-weekly video review because of Patreon. One of my goals is early access reviews, and I'm giving myself 1 week to work on multiple reviews, upload them unlisted onto my YouTube channel, and then if I get any patrons, I will send you the link privately, and you can enjoy it for yourself. And unfortunately, you can't comment just because of YouTube's algorithms and such like that. But once it's live, by all means, feel free to comment. So head on over to patreon.com and become a super addict today. And, of course, stay tuned for Trees and Torrent Story, which will be coming out probably by the end of this year or early next year. So stay tuned. But now with all that out of the way, that's pretty much all I have to say, my fellow addicts. So this has been the video review for the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Deluxe Class COG. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And please remember, my fellow addicts, until next time, to get addicted, stay addicted, and TF addicts for life! This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, rolling out!